Let's go.
Beloved poets, welcome to Chaos Magic. As usual, I'll give a few ground rules here. 3 to 5 minute sets. We ask but do not require that you bring one original and one cover piece. You could do two original pieces, you could do two cover pieces. We will love whatever magic you will bring. Of course, no racism, no sexism, no bullshit. Keep it all about the love. Love is a law. Love under will. Treat this space as a sanctuary for the artist that it is, and treat everyone here as sacred as this space. And with that said, let's start some good trouble. I posted the group chat not too long ago. With that said, I'll be updating it every so often just to keep people on the loop as to where their placement is. If you need to be bumped up sooner due to time constraints or what have you, please let me know. With that said, on deck, we got Richard Spizak, but kicking things off tonight, please give it up for Terry Rose Jurtson. Unmute and take it away when you are ready.
Hey, I'm ready. Oddly enough. So I'm reading from a poet who I recently was down in New Mexico for the Poetry Summit at Marissa Prada's. She organized the whole thing, and most of the people down there were authors of poetry books that she published. So she did not publish this author, but she is part of the Tesoro Women's Group, and her name is Josephine Leray. So I'm going to read from her book, the Cowikian series, and the name of the poem is This Town That. In this town, banana seat bikes leaning up against loggers' cabins, shingle siding painted sapphire mustard sage moss grows thick on roofs. In that town, streamers, clackers, bikes with just one gear, kids waiting till dusk to play Hango Seek, hiding behind parked cars in neighbors' yards, scurrying around 100-year-old maple trees like squirrels. In this town, a fire station, a butcher shop where hunters bring fresh kill, a trailer parked down by the water nestled in a valley ringed by peaks that remember indigenous names. In that town, tucked in a city named for trees, standing in water, an Italian bakery, a green grocer, a cornerstone, a corner store. Boy, I tell you, candy 3 a penny, 5 a penny. In this town, a green bowler trailer under plastic wraps, tires gone flat, indoor chairs ring an outdoor fire pit, a budding of beer cans on brown lawn, gypsy-inspired music from behind a 10-foot cedar hedge. Got to turn a page. In that town, a schoolyard where we play 7-up against a brick wall, old tennis ball, badminton under a canopy of leaves, a veranda for listening to thunder. In this town, a felled lot, swallows swooping over corpses of lodgepole pine, the rumbling dust of logging trucks, a caravan of campers, traveling to somewhere, just past the next bend in the road. In that town, knowing which doorbell to ring for trick or treats, the sing-song voice of the lady next door calling to her kids in Greek, Yanni, Elena, Elado. In this town, no fences, no bike helmets, a dog on the lap of a child on a gyrating swing. If I were to wait till dusk, would they come running out of these houses? Amethyst, mustard, royal blue, calling out, Ollie, Ollie, oxen free. So that's Josephine. She's cool. I met her. And I'm going to read some haikus from the same trip that I wrote because I was writing while I was down there. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 haiku. Pilot was Hadi, sat across from me, focused on his magazine. Next title of book, Catching Flies and Passing Gas. Passenger on plane. Plane ride was bumpy, turbulence scared passengers. Roller coaster ride. Hotel had bed bugs. We had to evacuate. Better get refund. Aftermath at bar, poets danced and raised ruckus. Summit was over. And then I have a little bit of a free write, but I don't know if I should just go to the next thing with haikus, more haikus. They're on the page and it's stuck. Okay, here we go. So I have some haikus about fall. Sienna oak leaves, the grass is green, turning brown, laying on the ground. I missed my meeting. I missed my meeting. Refused to be a robot. It's loading, loading. Seasons change. Listen to laughter. Gentle breeze. So that's it.
Everybody at this time, please give it up for Terry Rose Jurtson. Yeah.
Woo woo! Rock and roll, girl.
Terry.
I want to show you the book I was taking this from too. This is the book. I don't know if you can see it because it has a lot of ghosted images on it. I think you can get this from Amazon. Name of the book is the Cowichian series. It's spelled like cow and then ICHAN series. Josephine Lore, Lore. And it's a pretty book too because there's lots of photos in it, like that she took. I can just open the one. Like lots of beautiful pictures in here in color.
Oh wow. It's a nice infusion of photographic artistry with poetry.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's really a pretty book.
Josephine Lore, you said. Huh.
Yeah, she has the pictures. Those her poems are imprinted on ghosted images of the same picture that's on this side of the page.
Is that a book Marissa produced?
No.
Oh.
This woman, I believe she's from Canada. And she, even though that, I mean, Marissa has already published other authors from Canada, but she just came onto the scene after she had already published. So she's involved with the Tesoro group, so you know that's something else that Marissa's involved with. So they had a lunch and a brunch down there, and a feature. So I was a witness to that. I was a audience member.
Nice. That's really cool. And I enjoy those haikus. Especially like the just the experience of being in an airplane. Well put. Especially the flatulence. That's like the worst part of any plane ride,
I know,
say.
but it gave me the title for my next book. Because the Chameleon Chronicles is kind of the series, and then so Catching Flies for a chameleon would probably work, and Passing Gas is just funny. So
with that said,
it's not funny when you're sitting next to the person that's doing it. It's just funny. It's a funny title.
Definitely. And with that said, one more time, please give it up for Terry Rose Jurtson and kick off the show tonight. Yeah. All right.
Thanks.
Let's see what we got cracking on deck. We got Paul Skiff, but step into the plate now. Please give it up for Richard Spezak. Unmute and take it away when you are ready.
Thank you so much. Funny story about the plane rides. I had a passenger sitting next to me one time on a plane trip, and I said, geez, isn't this trip just so smooth? I mean, this is amazing. I've never had such a smooth flight. And he goes, yeah, boring, isn't it? And I said, what? He goes, well, I'm a pilot. I hate when it's smooth. That's just terrible. We only like it when it's really bumpy and fun. Okay, that's you, not me. Next, I got 3 pieces for you. And since I'm a new man, I'm reading 3 of mine. This is called The Food Truck of Life. I'm talking about the food truck of life that pulls up beside you, offering something simple, something nice. It may not be quite the stuff of your dreams, but it might be something that fulfills your coffee's need of cream. It rolls up outside, opens its door, and maybe they honk, invite, or implore. Now, there's no big invitation, no big invocation, but hey, what do you want? An engraved invitation? Opportunity's knocking. Want to come out and play? Sure, you're busy, got enough on your plate, but that truck's just outside, and any minute will be gone. And what does it have to do with you? Parked right there on your lawn? Carpe diem, they say. You must seize the day, or else turn back to your papers and it'll just go away. The food truck of life. Next up, this is called Letters, Numbers, and Hieroglyphs. This is for my poet friends out there who all carefully choose each word and reject one, put it back in. Letters, numbers, and hieroglyphs. Sometimes you find yourself drifting, sifting, selecting among the various letters, lifting, swimming joyous, buoyant like some mythic lifting sift. And as my mind confused, unsettled, sifts among them like some sharp-pointed nettle, choice disheveled. Some so sweet to taste, others left behind, provoked, examined, yet precious spices in careful admixture, so carefully refined, reaching for some careful, lasting meaning. Others set aside, ill-used, unfeeling, delicately handled, fondled, caressed with silken fingers like some long-lost infant swaddled. Some disgraced, discarded, and lost. Others hard-won at tremendous, even monumental cost. Some were found, carefully cast, as a crucial part of the precious edifice and artifice, so preciously, precisely, nicely flavored, later torn haphazard from the bridge, no longer the honored choice, no longer savored. Some plucked, clutched from the ancient dustbins of meaning, now fraught with awful power, delicious, tinted, delicate like some portentous Baroque Romanesque ceiling. Yet, in the end, does the edifice so tremulous constructed serve to cross the chasm, solve the riddle, enhance the tax deduction, dot the J? Precisely what secret message did that coded, loaded message that arrived this morning intend to relay? And all to spin the pretty petal in the sun, and in the final measure 'twas mere tinsel, or much esteemed, an august treasure so hard won and done. And then last, religion, plain or peanut. And I say peanut because I'm deathly allergic to peanuts. Religion, plain or peanut. How some religionists have come to this, insisting on their style of worship with a fist, enforcing virtue with a sword, seems to belie the sacred word that God is love, as is often said, but enforced and tortured, beaten in on someone's head. Maybe somehow you can tease it out and follow this curious, colorific thread. We've heard some talk of God's free will, yet some would enforce, coerce, indoctrinate at the point of a shaking snake. Seems they'd rely on God's good power in a month or a year that it might flower. Others adhere to the belief that you should pray some way or other, else, my dear, you're in for grief. They believe their cause is just, and therefore, just like them, you must offer prayer as they, or vastly nasty harm shall come to you as they interpret Scripture. Any other way, that just won't do. They have, it seems, made a precious, zealous God, but who has his own way, quite special if you want the nod. Otherwise, he's got the rod. Confines, designs, it seems that you should fold your hands just so, or off to Hades you must go. And the other prayer, it seems, and settles them and mars their dreams. God's enforcers they would be, and if you disagree, you may find yourself nailed to a right and proper tree. They did this once, or so I'm told, by 10 million statues molded, gilded, sold in gold. You'll find these little statuettes often round their necks with no regrets. Oh, what the heck. They commemorate, or so it seems, the awful, unlawful outcome of his plans and schemes to buy the freedom of your soul. I don't know if this torture is necessary. I'm not so sure. Let's go ask Larry. How exactly it is that this painful refrain is quite necessary? It's under control, and yet transcends our friends and all quite droll. I'm not sure just the way with the shrieks and the screams this fellow rolls. Hey, what the heck? They'd like to enshrine this God this finest hour when he succumbed to judicial, prejudicial Roman power. But it's okay. He's later thrown above, because after the laughter and the refrain of painful disaster, it's all just love. Thanks, my friends. Thank you.
Yo. I dug everything about what you just did there. It just sounds so conversational, so interactive, so engaging. Everybody, please give it up for Richard Spiesak at this time. Yeah.
Go, Richard!
Thanks, Richard.
Woo! Fury of the follicles. Woo!
You had just the right cadence for everything there. And again, we just appreciate your energy, and what you bring to the table here every time. So, with that said, thank you, Richard, for what you do. And also check out what he's got going on with Poets of the East. Um, check it out on YouTube. If Richard, when you have a chance, post your links in the group chat. And with that said, for any performers here who got any social media handles, anything got going on that you want to promote, please utilize the meeting chats to your utmost advantage. It's there for a reason, one of many reasons. So with that said, you got permission in case you're all wondering. Anyway, we're gonna keep this shindig rolling. On deck, we got Whisper Poet, but step up to the plate. Please give it up for this heavy hitter in Paul Skiff. Unmute and take it away when you are ready.
Okay. Thanks, Dre. It's nice to be here with everybody. I haven't seen some of these people in a while. Amanda and who else? I'm glad to see C here. Debbie, I haven't seen in a while either. We just haven't been crossing paths. I'm gonna read a few poems by this guy, Mike Tyler, who used to MC weekly Sunday afternoon 3 p.m. reading at a place called ABC No Rio, which was kind of my mainstay poetry hangout on the Lower East Side before the New Eurekan Poets Cafe reopened. And his work is pretty idiosyncratic. He plays around with words and non sequiturs. This poem has a title, You're Soaking in It. All this depth getting me real shallow, opposed to false shallow, where you swallow a swallow, the beautiful bird plucks your guts insides like a lewd lute. Does it matter if the ordinary is extra? If the extra is a value meal? Lumps of chemical gravy, train your brain to think like a stone. What if you really can't do anything? No, you really can't. You watch your friend go over the falls in a noose, and it's real, but it's a movie because it's real, but you can't do anything. No, really, you can't. Like at the movies, except get up and leave. If is so iffy. What if is just saying what it is this the merry-go-round, sad stop square. And I'll do another one of his. Let's see. Let me find a good one here. Sorry, I'm just scrolling around here trying to find a. Okay, this has a title, When You Look at My Heart. When you look at a heart, hold it in your visual hands, play with it like a stuffed Kermit doll. It seems to be as sensitive as a dead snake. Why would it photograph the past with the precision of a futurist in otherworldly, imprecisely, or wrongly, like wrong, mushy, pushy, downright dumpy, a bleeding heart, focus out of focus, pocus? Honcho of the highs of lows, celebrate the bees and hooves, the stings and treads of the prodded, punched, put down, a law firm of bites and bruises, concussions, and lame discussions. The personal sucks. We are all in love with the intimacy of public life, the staged infamy, it and all that follows it, The truth is a cow asleep. Sneak up on it. Tip it. It falls. It's still asleep. So that's Mike Tyler. I have two short poems for you. Mike Tyler's delivery was always kind of, I don't want to say, enhanced, I'll say, by the fact that he was antic. He would not stand in front of a microphone or podium. He would run all over the room, throw chairs around. When he was the MC, he was known for throwing the podium around. And one of his so-called claims to fame is he climbed up on the fence next door to the New Eurekan Poets Cafe to recite a poem, fell off and broke his arm, but he continued to finish the poem like any poet would. Oh, so let me sorry, I'm taking so much time between poems. I have two short poems here. The mosquito I slapped this morning flat against the wall above the sink would not go down the drain, no matter how much I splashed at it. The bloodsucker was like predatory parts of capitalism. The robocall, the service charge, the introductory offer that inflates afterward, the product warning, the list of carcinogenic ingredients approved by the government, the junk mail offer, the social network platform that gets you to provide content so they make a bajillion dollars while you pay your internet bill. The industry that toxifies whole civic populations, the baby crib's wrongful death. No matter how much you avoid them or ignore them, they will still just not go away. Go down the drain, you fucking mosquito. And the last one goes like this. What if our dreams themselves have dreams so you could wake up somewhere and be in a vision place 2 dreams away from morning? Could anger have its own anger so you would be a witness caught in an argument between an irritation and annoyance, but only feel a voyeuristic, distant madness? Would that be a shout duet clash with a backstory made of a double aggravation echo? Might there be love felt by love for another person's love loving? Would that be a love chase through a love tangle? How would a happiness felt by happy feel? Would it be like hearing a bird sing in the distance? Like an ear tickle felt in the pelvis? Is it possible for ambition to be ambitious about reaching a goal higher than itself that could make effort a miracle of need, so wanting stands alone among emptiness in identity's starting place? Could curiosity be a whim, curious sales? on the atmosphere needing to know transforms when it rises and careful to be inquisitive about the abstruse surrounding us as everything we cannot touch with precisely accurate experience, exciting as a void strangely empty needed to replace what is between us and the unrevealed. So who knows is now more than the place where an answer is? What would happen if a question got questioned before questioning? Would possessing an answer fall out the back door on needing to know and end up with nothing but being lost in a confusion alley, curious where what was going to be asked forgot why its lack of knowledge provoked initiative to overcome itself, had intended to seek as a way to better understand? Could not having anything to do with anything be a relative of nothing, but not be realized? When an important issue is preoccupied by an important issue, that takes away its gravity, so weightlessness makes relevance float like laughter is a relief we cannot do anything about, is the value of concern dizzied or sharpened in frustration that simply caring is not enough? When there is an answer to the answer, what happens with being correct? Does it need to choose between two rights and make a wrong the byproduct of not being so sure? The danger to danger that is in danger dangerizes dangerous. So you had better pay attention to all the consequences in between risky and harmful before your pain is owned by injury as a hazard of the gap that creates a relationship organized by what if and the worst. So are poems like a big bang for paradox where they get scorched into non-things that sneak into themselves, just like you sneak into yourself when you think or dream or feel? You tell me. You tell me, hey, you know far better than I do what hides you in your silence. Thanks.
Wow. Always a banger every time. Everybody, please give it up for Paul Skiff at this time.
God,
Damn.
they're so delightfully
Yes,
crunchy.
Paul.
Thank you.
Woo-hoo.
It's always fun to be here.
Do you
Always
guys
fun to
remember
have
that
you.
movie The Fly, where Jeff Goldblum was taking different people and entities and things and mixing them together? Paul, you're like Jeff Goldblum with his little thingy, took, like Roald Dahl, the Cheshire Cat, and Dr. Seuss, and did that thing. And you come out of it. And it's just genius and brilliant. And I love it.
Thanks. I've seen the original Fly movie from the 1950s. That's totally spooky.
I was just taking some time to just update the list real quick. But just to chime in real quick on the Fly conversation, this like the Jeff Goldblum one is fun and campy to a degree, but does have like some what the fuck element to it. But I do like, I always like to check out the originals of films just to kind of see and appreciate the origin, because you want to see that, I feel. Um, but with that
Yeah,
said,
the original one kind of feels more like Twilight Zone or Outer Limits. It's really uncanny.
I agree, and it does feel like more spooky. I don't know. There was some element to it. I want to revisit that one and the Jeff Goldblum one, but we're drifting away from what we're here for. With that said, on deck we got MC Paridi, but stepping up to the plate now, please give it up for Whisper Poet. Unmuted, take it away when you are ready.
Thank you, thank you. All right, so my first piece. This one's called Eat. I've got meat between my teeth. Keep your toothpick. I'm going to lick my lips and savor your remains. I'm not going to pick them clean. I made a mess of you, and in consuming you, I made a mess of me. Oh, sweet cyanide. You slide luxuriously through my mind like the dark red of the lava lamp glides by. Erotic amoeba that will absorb you with nothing left behind. I remember you lying naked on the table of my love. You look so beautiful in my antique etched crystal, while I sipped the wine of your blood. Such a hunger in me you incited, and it hollows my stomach against my spine. I am voracious, and you may wish it otherwise, but you can't resist my will. I will crack your bones and suck the marrow of your mind into mine while I grind. Lick my fingers free of your grease, then eye you up and down over the possibility of another taste. Oh, yes, please. Render you in my blender, slather you on my starving skin, absorb the sweet sweat of your integument, drape myself in your desire. It pours over me like angel dust and whiskey. I will wear you in luxury while I pick line you into the heart of me. I am the sweet succubus you had no idea you would find when you strutted into my DMs. A refugee from the mundane. Oh, how you must regret ever sharing your name. But you gave me everything I got. And I have no qualms over my ethics of the past, except that I liquidated you, then seduced you into my genie bottle of kaleidoscopic glass, my own personal mixture of Goldschlager and Astroglide, and now it's your doppelbanger instead of you that buzzes yes, goddess, when your name screams from between my thighs. Your sex filled me with the hubris of desire. I know I did wrong to burn you to your bones with my unquenchable fire. Emotional cannibalism is consumption of flesh because it was your heart I devoured. And if it's wrong, I don't care that I still revel in your taste. Oh, I know I will be judged for this, and knowing it, I would do it all over again. But this is the truth of my own heart. It isn't murder, because I loved you unto death do us part. And this is my reproductive rights piece. This is a monologue from my vagina. To the men who think they own my vagina, your stubborn refusal to acknowledge my rights left me stuck between legal doctrine and media sound bites. You are blinded by your chromosomal letter Y. If you think you get to be in charge of what I have between my thighs, You created your paper tiger of judiciary ink. What part of history have you tried to ignore that you think you can own the life of another, dictate to my ovaries, a mad conductor to my fallopian tube sonata, want to orchestrate the orchids of my female flower? You can't control us, and your ignorance is showing that you think we will bow down to a bunch of clowns trying to tell me you have the right to legislate what I can and cannot do with my own body, trying to make me the living intestate. You need to listen up, Buttercup, before we erupt. Who told you that you get to play God when I'm the one with the fire of creation overflowing my cup? You don't have clout to run game like that. Do not proselytize my uterus or try to bend my free will to enjoin yours, you bunch of ignorant asshats. You plant your seeds without thought for the future of the crop, then exit stage left, abdicate responsibility, leaving me with an unbearable choice. And you seem to believe that now you have some say over the decision. How dare you question me when you were the one hopped up on delusion? I will grieve in silence away from your view. You don't get to see how the choices I have made in this world weigh on me. I exclude you. You take patriarchy to the extreme and use religion to regulate the aftermath of my verbs you wanted to conjugate. But I got news for you, troglodyte. You try to overthrow the queendom of my womb. You may like to think you do, but baby, you don't run that room. I am not your political cause celeb, and you will not climb to fame on the rungs of my scarred back. I stand forth, holding aloft my fist, shoulder to shoulder with my sisters. We are angry, and we will commit to launching our juggernaut against your selfish, ignorant tide. It is you who will find out who's soft in this fight for the survival of our mastery over our bodies and our rights. Push us again, and you won't like the boundaries we lay. You will not rule us like we are chattel, dictating your rules to us as if we are cattle to be prodded by the long arm of your law. Get your gavel out our business. I'm pulling it out the depths of my craw where you shoved it down my throat. You mowed down the wisdom of the double X that 50 years gave us to grow. Try to preach dogma to my body. Think you can subjugate my free will? You need to think long and hard about what you're going to do when we bring our storm to your hill, because we will no longer tolerate interference with our elemental flow. As women, we will rise. As women, we will succeed. As women, we will work together to make sure no man can control what happens when the flow of our menses ceases to bleed. Only we can craft our futures. And when it comes down to hard choices, I will execute my destiny as I so decide, because my body doesn't belong to you, you pompous dolt. My body is mine. It cannot be misdirected, mistreated, or misused, undermined, misappropriated, co-opted, or abused. Mothers, daughters, witches, and queens, we have had enough. So to the men who think they own my vagina, sit down, shut up, and listen to your mama.
Fuck yes, all the way. Everybody, please give it up for Whisper Poet at this time. Yeah.
It's one of the all-time greatest ending lines. You know, you could make $1 million here because there's a big industry here that caters to people who want to be subjected to that kind of oratory.
That may require boots with a higher heel than I possess at this time, but I'll take it under advisement.
Yeah.
I'll pimp you out. No.
Fuck yeah, Debbie.
Wow.
So if anybody's going to be my pimp, it's you, baby.
Wow. I love the words that are spoken here in this space. But legit though, that poetry was absolute fire, and I had a feeling once you came in here with that background, you had something brewing. And I'm just so happy you're blessing us with these words. With that said, one more time, please give it up for Whisper Poet. Before we go on to the next poet, I just wanted to check in with Whisper Poet. Who will be the special guest for Harley Artists tomorrow?
Thank you. The heart of the artist tomorrow, we have the poet Rose Gold. She is part of the Tesoro Sisterhood, and I am very much excited, looking forward to that conversation. I have not met her before. And like with so many of the other folks that I interview, I go in blind, don't know a thing, don't want to know a thing. I just want to meet them and vibe and see where we take it. So very excited and hope you guys will check that out.
Right on. And that's, I believe, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow in this very Zoom room. Harley Artist, please check it out if you haven't already. And with that said, we're going to be going on to the next poet. Let's see where we're at here. Oh, cool. On deck, we got Steps, but step into the plate now. Please get it for MT Paridi. Please take it away when you are ready.
All right, I gotta say that was probably one of my favorite introductions because you looked at my name and you said, "Oh, cool," and that makes me feel so good. But I am going to trigger warning this piece as just bringing the mood way down. Because this Saturday I had to put down one of my cats, and it was, as you could imagine. Friday, when I made the decision and when I broke down at work, I wrote this poem. It's untitled, but her name was Jupiter. And I named her that specifically because the night she followed me home, which is in the poem, Jupiter, I had noticed Jupiter was very bright in the sky, and I had commented on that to my friends. And then she followed me home, and it was written in the stars. So that's all in the poem. But anyway, thank you for letting me honor her with this poem. Barely made it through the day. In fact, I really didn't. Not much else to say. My cat can't go on living. My Jupiter, written in the stars since the day we met, not confusing her with the scars of losing much more than a pet. Imprinted on me, quite simple, you see, my sweet little girl was true royalty. Our gravity brought us together, from feral to my family. A cavity I thought it would never be filled in by you choosing me. But choose me you did, though I might have Pied Pipered. You followed me right to my door. In bushes you hid, parked cars they would hide her as you journeyed to becoming more. More than a friend, a close companion who's been there for me through the worst. And now at the end, a rip and a rend, I swear my heart is gonna burst. Poem. And my next poem. I wrote this yesterday and today. So, I think it's titled Pretend. Because, well, guess what I've been doing a lot of lately. So, yeah, here goes. Asymptomatic panic takes grip. This shit is so tragic, can't grab it, it slip. Can't hold it together, bad habits unskip. Something must be severed. I heard that shit rip. I heard that shit tear, that life was unfair, that nobody knows and nobody cares, that nobody's coming despite all the stares, despite all the eyes, you won't feel the hands, because nobody's looking for likes and for everyone's looking for likes and for shares. Keep up with the Joneses, but nothing compares. When women choose bears, and rightfully so, some things tip the scales. We say we don't know, but it's people like me refusing to show what is going on deep down below, who keep a facade, keep up with appearances, seeking a God. All we got was what fear insists. And fear insists action like fight, freeze, or flee. But there's a distraction from me feeling me. Can't seem to get traction. It's so slippery. This slope of abstraction is the only thing free. They call it free fall. Free fall for a reason, because gravity don't cost a thing. The lies they enthrall and bring about treason, betrayal, it is the worst sting. A stab in the back, couldn't hack it, I quit. This shit is no cap, got a slap for a fit. The game couldn't match, so I set that love shit up for a catch. Get it fast, radar blip. Couldn't last past the storm that always blows itself out. Wouldn't ask for more norm, wouldn't take a reroute, wouldn't change my direction, wouldn't do something different. Emotional reflection on the page, how I did it, how I got through the day with distraction and play. The last one would say there is no other way to make the peace stay, despite not showing signs that anxiety has taken hold of my spine. Taking hold of my nervous system. Don't miss them. They no longer service. They are pissing on living. Don't give them a chance. Don't let them take hold. Pretend that you're fine. It never gets old. Poem.
Oh, I want to give you a hug right now. Everybody, please give it up for MT Paridi at this time.
Woo! Woo! I'm sorry for your loss.
Let's go. MT.
Same.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all so much for letting me honor her tonight with that poem and letting me. That was very cathartic. And it really sums it up. But as I like to say, better on the page than in my head. And when I can see the thoughts, I don't have to be the thoughts. So the page, it gives me distance and helps me process. So, and the performance gives me release. And I appreciate communities like this. So thank you so much, Dre, and the whole Open Minds, community. I appreciate you. Now, that's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you, my man. Now, we're going to keep this train rolling. On deck, we got Stephanie Vance. But stepping to the plate now, your steps. Lots of step action right now. Take it away when you are ready.
How you guys doing? Yeah, you guys doing? So I'm Steps. The first poem I'm actually going to read you guys is some unfinished work I'm currently working on. Doesn't have a title yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. A little different than I normally do.
Untitled shit.
So here I go. Regulated adaptations ensure activity. Labeling ingredients of requested directives, modeling bubbles with deep pressure. Carry over essential therapeutic demand as you reach through the blazing stars for the gateway of intergalactic command. Commander, the AI disconnected relays contorting society's nerve endings into a melee. In layman's terms, I'm autistic yet majestic with these attempts to draw dots with extended lines. Artistic within conflicted realism of distorted imagination. Communications of decisions force to surface unregulated babbles too easily. Poem. So that's all I have so far with that. That's something I'm just working on, trying to figure it out. This is the next poem I'm going to read you guys is called Lost Sight. This is essentially like working through just like a lost love or just love going wrong. I got lost in the depth of us. This sick, undying need to live between the lines. Yet, you're reminded metaphors will never love you. Cupid's disordered desires rubbed one off on the ceiling fan for everyone to see. Cloudy drips hit the floor, express in smear writing, "You are not the one." Left searching for a satisfying fairy tale, I dreamt of being the broth to your chicken noodle, the seasoning to your stock. When all you wanted was egg drop soup, I misheard misguided clues flung with success. Pain became an unavoidable sticky substance, clasping to your lips, slithering its way around the tree roots. Destiny is often misunderstood as our history. We choose to die in optional suffering. Even glasses couldn't adjust this broken delusion. Found in a drunken fix, our foresight eluded our buried vision. Poem.
My dude, that's how you bring it. Everybody, please give it up for Steps at this time. Yeah.
Yeah. Woo! I loved it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steps.
Thanks for sharing, Steps. Thank you. Thank you. Hope all is well on your end. With that said, we're going to keep the shindig rolling. On deck, we got Debbie Segal, but stepping up to the plate now, please get up for Stephanie Vance. Unmute and take it away when you are ready.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to do a cover first by Carolyn Creedon. This is called Woman Mind, Woman, M-I-N-E-D. In the cosmetics department of Lord & Taylor, they'll take you right there, right out in the open, plain as day, and snap you with an ultraviolet camera. Show what you've done to your skin just by living, your face exposed suddenly like what's really going on under a lifted up log, the real you are caught and pinned like a moth, like a shoplifter, like a woman on a table. And the lady in the crisp white smock will expertly flick the snapshot in front of you, laid out like a color-coded map of conquered countries, the purples and browns, places you gave up without a care in your 20s, to late nights and poolside deck chairs, and men, all the men you touched, the ones who marked you, whose traces you bear, and now you can see the archaeology of tears, their white acid trails, and the lady will say sternly, "Look what you did." And you will see the mess of it you made, and you will see the times when you carelessly went to bed with someone without the proper moisturizer, when you suckled that man like a baby, and when you moved with another like a girl on a rocker until you fell off and lost him, and finally picked another like the best of all flower and kept him, cried on him, made him sandwiches, made him a baby, and you'll wear your face with its amber earned, its amethyst, its intaglio tear-etched diamond, and say, "I am cut that way." Poem. Okay. My next one is new shit. Very fresh and unfinished, I think, but also feels kind of dangerous personally. So thank you for holding space. This is called Work for You. Sometimes I get lost in the magic in my mind, the sheer terror of it all, the wonder, wishing it so hard it all comes true. Is it all true? Gravity wouldn't do me like that. God wouldn't do me like that. I would, and I have, but I dare not speak its name for fear it will slip away from me. Neither Gollum nor Percy's, some strange secret third thing, a whispering bird, or my own ruthless imagination. Does it matter? I am putting my faith in the universal laws of nature, trying to keep it there, trying to figure out how to make it fit. Am I wearing it right? Does it make my ass look big? Could it please make my ass look big? I am putting my faith in myself, meaning beyond myself, meaning gravity take the wheel, meaning finally it's not all my fault, meaning in reality none of it ever was, meaning I am no longer your atlas, no longer your plaything. Show me off to your friends and then tell me to slim down some. I don't work for you. Does it work for you? Blaming me for your pain, swallowing a smile at my misfortune. You think I can't see the wheels turning all the way down your throat? Stick your pins, pull your strings, wear my skin if you're a freak like that. Make me into something else. Make me into someone you could love. Make me into someone you could be. Turns out you're the best actor of us all. Honestly, I'm kind of flattered. All this work for little old me. But I'm sorry to say, I hate to bear such terrible news. You can't hurt me anymore. You think you know me? You have no fucking idea. You think you can destroy me, make me destroy myself? No fucking chance. I am the monster you created, fearsome and magnificent, beyond your wildest dreams, the stuff of your worst nightmares. Ms. Frankenstein, take your bow. The voodoo that you do has opened its eyes and turned against you. She is alive. So sleep well, dear one, rest your precious little head. Tomorrow is the first day of the rest of your life, and there is work to be done. Poem.
Oh, yeah. Everybody, please give it for Stephanie Vance at this time. Wow.
That was amazing.
That was
Thank you.
fiery.
Great way to read the riot act. That was super.
Right on.
Oh, man. Thank you for sharing that with us here tonight. Wow. Then you said that was new shit, right?
I wrote part of it like maybe a few days ago, but I stitched it all together today.
Awesome. And wow. If you ever do decide to just take some more time with it, oh my goodness, I can only imagine. Right now you're at a great level with that piece. And with that said, please, one more time, give it up for Stephanie Vance.
Woo! Woohoo!
Fuck yeah. Just never know what you're gonna expect here, you know? Never know what kind of fire's gonna be just blowing us away here. On deck, we got Black Silver 47, but stepping up to the plate now, please give it up for Debbie Seagal. Unmute and take it away when you are ready.
Beloved poets, thank you. I'm going to cover a Ursula Le Guin called The Roof Tree. I bury my dead in the foundations of my house. There is coming and going on floors above, laughter on stairs, dreams in the beds, a mouse making nests of unread books in outgrown boots in the attic. Swallows return to the eaves. Through the windows, some broken, enter various lights and the shadows of leaves. Through the doors, children. A high house I inhabit with a green roof. All strength, all green taken from the unlit, unspoken, unshaken roots. So that's Ursula K. Le Guin. Then I'm going to do one of my own kind of new shit, and I'll read it from the screen. It's called Dancing in Stardust. Every locust is an altar, angels bound to stardust, seasons dashed to debris, hit or miss witnessing, focusing on the fulcrum, forgetting redemption, hysterical miracles, pushing aside wispy clouds, dawn's crowning mauve rose, a wicked stillness, a puzzling paradox, scrawled in Sharpie on cell walls? Who is doing the breathing? Duped by a grift of second chances, ruled by a gift of that which you are behind the mask, adorned with stardust, throttling bad choices, breaking a black mirror, denying forgetting. Instead of a beef with promises in the hidden spaces of a paradox, dance down, shimmering sylphs, as if grace has your back. Thank you.
Way to go, Debbie. Way to go. Everybody, please give it up for Debbie Segal at this time. Yeah.
Yes, Debbie.
Go, Debbie.
4.
Always a pleasure to have you here, Debbie, and keep sharing, keep writing, keep doing what you're doing. And again, I hope all is well on your end. With that said, we're going to keep this shindig rolling, rolling, rolling. On deck, we got Jackson Riley. Let's step into the plate now. Please give it up for Black Silver 47. Unmute and take it away when you are ready.
Can you hear me okay? Okay, I see thumbs up, I see head nods, so I'm gonna go ahead and spit. I gotta pull up my poem. All right, here we go. The title of this piece is Things That Can't Be Taught and Things That Can't Be Bought. All right, here we go. Give me a number. What's a human life worth? You'd have to be a little fucked up to put a number on it, unless of course you're trying to grow your business. But what if I said life can't be bought? What then? What happens to the system? Give me another number. What's God worth? Is it possible to buy heaven? Well, it seems in the so-called modern era, everything has a price. Food, water, clothing, shelter. You're shit out of luck if you ain't got them numbers. But what if I said a number is not as important as we think? See, it's not the number. It's what's behind it that we want. But we couldn't just go right for it. That would be too simple. We are so-called civilized and too complicated for that. But what if I said being civilized costs too much in that era of teaching things that can't be taught and buying things that can't be bought? And that's my piece. That's what I got for tonight. That's all. Thanks.
With that said, everybody at this time, please unmute, show your love for Black Silver 47.
Silver 47.
Black
Woo!
Silver. Woo!
Right on, right on. And seriously, right on. Keep writing, because we would love to hear more from you. One more time, give it up for Black Silver 47.
Woo! Woo!
Love your enthusiasm. Anyway, we got 4 poets left on this show. That said, on deck, we got Sparkalian. Let's step up to the plate now. Please give it up for Jackson Riley. Unmuted, take it away when you are ready.
What's up, y'all? Happy to be here tonight. I have 2 poems that I want to share. One was a free write from yesterday. I wrote it pretty late last night. Something that I had wanted to express for a while, but had struggled to put into words, struggled to just way to write is just to, write. And it's kind of heavy. I'm understating it. It is heavy. I had a suicide attempt last year, and one of my friends called the police on me, and I was hospitalized for 5 months. After a month, I was able to leave and go out and see friends, and move about freely, like still living at this facility. And my my best friend who had called the police on me, he was there for me when I first got out of like residential treatment. And then he slowly started to distance himself, even though he had said like things are okay, things are okay. And then right before I got out, he told me he can't have me in his life anymore. And that was really tough for me. And I wrote some stuff about missing him, and I've written like a lot about missing him, but this is a poem that really articulates how angry I was at him and some other people, for kind of just disappearing all at the same time, after supporting me throughout the whole process. This is Go Yoshinawa. I wonder, do I still pay rent for the apartment in your head? Had you not intervened when you did, perhaps I would have bled out in that parking lot. Do I park a spot traced in white paint within your brain? Does my existence provide pain? An omnipresent rain cloud effect, was it your neck on the line? Do you pine after the time when my yoke was easy? Do you feel sleazy, abandoned, a friend after freeing him? I returned and you ushered a red carpet welcome back to the world of the living. A smile and a hug over a slice of pepperoni. You told me you loved me and just wanted to see me happy. I kept my promise. And where the fuck were you? The earth again fell away when I had only just remembered how to stand. What kind of man does this? Or do you fancy yourself a martyr, who in your magnanimity saved this poor sop from the blade? I love you dearly, but I will not entertain such childish misapprehension. I pray you face head on and make peace with your mistakes, as I have. To our sister, ¿cómo está? Of you, I wish the same. But since you lack the decency to even reach out to you, I simply say, oh. This other piece that I wanted to share is one that I've been working on for a little bit. I started as an exercise after watching Buddy Wakefield perform, and hearing his thoughts on rhyme, and knowing that I use rhyme as one of my main vehicles for getting points across and hammering home certain emotions. And I wanted to see if I could write without rhyme. And so the start was kind of an exercise in blank verse, and then it's kind of a poem about maybe right person, wrong time doesn't exist, and it's just an excuse to try to absolve myself of that guilt and shame from over a past love who has kind of haunted me for the better part of a year. This is Telescoping. Brazilian waxing poetic, across the silver film behind my eyes, I revisit our time together. Pawing breathlessly as grain by grain, all of me seeped from your hourglass figure. Hurling glass walls at brick bottles graffitied with Exodus 14:14, I wait impatiently for something to come unglued. Until the last drop, I do not recognize the back of my own hand. I say, not me, not I, for there is none like myself. Triumvirate, I am the objector, the objective, and the exception. Amen. But since then, I've made quite the progression. I long for daylight and no longer find my worth in my depression. You inspired me to get over all my pitiful transgressions and be the me that people love but only got to see in sessions and for seasons. The reason for the change is all the lessons that I took from your leaving. See, I made it my sole mission to, if we met again, be in a place where you'd make the election to forgive me, and thus I trust assuage my still obsession. Do you ever think of me? I still dream of us in the same room. Does that frighten you? Or do you find it romantic? Am I tragic? Or am I a parasite? A mite? A device to foment revulsion? Or worse? You feared me in the end, but you cared for me once. Deeply, you intimated. Really, really, quite a lot, you said. Did someone get to you? Or am I just being paranoid? I miss you. I'll say it again for the people in the back. I miss you. Funny. I hardly knew you. Funny. I think I may have loved you. Eventually. Boom.
Wow. I love how vulnerable you got with us tonight. And with that said, everybody please give it up for Jackson Riley.
Woo, Jackson!
Love you, Jackson.
Powerful.
Yeah,
And on a side,
Jackson, thanks for trusting us with your vulnerability and keep finding your home in your words, because they'll start shedding some light for you, which I think you obviously already know.
well said, Paul. And a quick little side note, just in case any of y'all aren't aware, every Thursday at 6 p.m. in this very Zoom room, Jackson Riley and C. Santos have a little show called Come As You Are. It's an open mic that also engages you into a writing prompt. So if you're struggling with writer's block, you can, give that some bitch a karate chop. So that's again, Come As You Are, this Thursday and every Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, in the Zoom room, hosted by C. Santos and Jackson Riley. With that
Jackson,
said,
you
one
are
more
awesome,
time.
dudes.
I
And
would
I
like
just
to
wanted
endorse that. I mean, you're calling it a show, but I found it to be very, very rare that there was also a check-in. So it's also, you're a person, you're not just a performer. And so that was like really lovely, C and Jackson. So I endorse anybody showing up if they want to go somewhere where they can be like felt and held and seen and check in and do a poetry workshop. It's like a great combination of wonderful vibes.
I just wanted to thank you for those words, Jackson. I felt so much resonance with some of the things that I've written over the past 5 years when I was deeply, deeply in grief with someone that I was so deeply in love with. And it really resonated. And I'm sorry that you were living through that heartbreak. And I hope that you find the thing that helps you move forward in wholeness and in light and in love.
It's great to have such a community like this with people like Jackson. We love you, Jackson. And great to have you on board as one of the co-hosts here. Again, that's Come As You Are this Friday. Excuse me, this Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're able to make it, do it. I wish I can, but CVS has me closing every Thursday night, so it's a struggle. So I try to catch what's on YouTube. With that said, we're gonna keep this shindig rolling. We got 3 performers left. On deck, we got Avacha. But stepping up to the plate now, please give it up for Parkillian. Unmute and take it away when you are ready.
Thank you so much, Dre, and everyone here. This is a poem called Drive by Megan Fernandez. I walk into a record store on Christmas Eve and the Cars are playing, so of course I think of you. In therapy, I learn words and box 3 days a week and read Russell Brand's book about being fucked and for months cut out drinking and apply to divinity school and examine my life and the impossibility of you and I, and how I is a mirror of you, is nothing but a projection of I. And I did try, honestly. I recited cliches when language failed and let my self-helping heart run ravenous at a buffet of cheap routines, and then came armed one day with my ancestors who had lived through revolutions and ships raging at their shores, and they too shrugged at me. So I blamed sexuality and childhood and made every target an easy one, just to make it make sense. But it wouldn't fit. Nothing fit. And my friends said words about history and power, and I wanted the pain to be ideological, but it was too easy, and nobody admits that ideology can envelop almost anything, and therefore is bad form. I gave up. It was an angelic state, a surrender to a belief that you and the I was a unity that could return one home, if home were a pair of blue stars in devoted orbit, seen as one bright pulse from Earth, away from the brute facts of living. But home is not two suns. There is no home and nothing to return to, just a series of shadows, partial signs of presence, a flickering. I say things and then unsay them. It was love. It was not love. It is raining. It is not raining. Contradictions are a sign we are from God. We fall, but we don't always get to ask why. And for some reason that resonated with me, especially the title, since I have a poem here that I wrote over a period of perhaps 10 years, also called Drive, completely different. On I flow. Multiple greens broken by beads of every shade whirl by as honey pours in from the edge of rippling gray that grows ahead, bringing multiform shapes that buzz and sigh, then quickly fade away. I flow on. Extra fine filaments crisscross overhead, where masses of suspended drops drift by shading ribbon below, which soon turns darker and begins to hiss, while dissonant discs that distort the view expand and transmute into smooth silken spots of translucence before they are wiped away, but reappear in regular waves till light regains control. Flow on I. Circle of rich liquid orange slips behind dimpled green to reemerge nestled in cash cushions of cottony slate before darkness dreamily descends and deep double dawn appears so suddenly at times, while faceted orbs splash their gaze along my path at intervals, telling me what to do. On flow I. Diamond crystals near and far from slowly bursting root are set in mystic velvet clearness, while river of glowing translucent white circles float by in slow motion, cascading arc so full of passing grace as neighboring buttons of rubescent red grow larger, stay steady, or recede. I on flow, sudden full stop, as pink is ejected and hurled behind while stretching sketchy spiderweb appears from nowhere before swimming around, then settling down to dull throb and agitated stillness. Soon motion resumes and many hues of desiccated flames appear far ahead, engulfed in gray or suddenly near, dripping sparks slowly into shadows, then giving way to white-blue beams streaming down on swaths of swarthy, weathered filigree, standing sternly at attention. flow ion. Layers of white so lushly lain slide slyly aside, forming crazy drunken lines as fuzz so fluffy falls and joins it, muffling all sound in still luminous air, while large, heavy puffs of silver-trimmed dragon's breath diminish into infinity. On I flow. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much. Everybody at this time, please give it up for Parkillian. Yeah.
Beautiful. Parquillian. Woo.
Loved it.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you every time you're able to step in and deliver some of your goodness here on this digital space. All right. With that said, we're down to 2. On deck is yours truly. Howdy, y'all. But stepping up to the plate, please give it for Avacha. Unmuted, take it away when you are ready.
Hey friends, I'm so honored to be here. Sorry I was coming in late, but I had to work on this other thing that I heard was absolutely awesome. This is from my book, With Every Step I Take 2. It's in Spanglish, but I think you'll get the message. I'm an old musician, and as a musician, we get home real late, and that makes me a walking target since I'm about 2 years older than dirt. And the street kids are out there, sometimes little tiny kids, like 9, 10, and 11-year-old kids, 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. And so I wrote them a love poem. I'm not going to go through the whole story, but it worked. And I want to read it to you. It's called Street Children of the Night, para los chiquititos de la noche en cualquier lugar. Black and brown children of the night que ya no saben nada de jugar, mis niñitos de la calle, queridos morenitos, whose ideas of having fun got swallowed by the darkness. If I could, I would wrap you in sunshine. I would hold you close and fold you in these arms and caress whatever's left of the child in you with lullabies. I would like to cover you and cover every injured inch of you with home-cooked self-esteem and better de ser vacantes. I want to fill the hole that hurt dug. Take my hand, and I swim defiantly through the fires of hell for you and with you through the mugre of disrespect. I'm a hard-headed kind of lady, and I just can't see myself giving up on you. Somos lo que somos, you and I, para nosotros, somos todo lo que hay been fused together by history, por lo bonito, y los sueños robados, like spiritually in the maze of our destiny. Oye, mis pequeños, mis negritos, mis pequeños callejeros, lo necesito. The truth is, I know I need you, y yo sin ti soy nada. And if I had a chance, I'd refuse to turn you loose so you were so in love with yourself that self-destruction would disintegrate under the pressure of your presence. And you were so secure in my love for you, and so sure of the splendor you had become that even the sun would lay aside its arrogance just to get a chance to reflect the brilliance of your essence and bask in the bold truth of your integrity. En ti, viva una redal, ay Dios, perdón. En ti viva una verdad real, y yo sin ti no existe ni un sendero de la esperanza. Say, can they see you, my beautiful wild lotus flowers? If I could, I'd bathe you in a sea of rose water. I'd convert your waves of pain into an ocean of pride and faith. Yo te pido, dame un chance. Please, please, please let me in. I promise you the very best I can, even if I have to wake the dead and conjure up our ancestors' breath. I'm not too proud to act a fool, get down on my knees and holler and scream and beg all the spirits of goodness to intervene, to blow away the fog of dismay and distrust by sacrificar through lágrimas and dissipate the rage burning behind your eyes. So together we could wash away the centuries of emasculating doubt and defeminizing lies and have a little fun and learn to play a brand new game called Demolishing Walls of Self-Hate. Children of the night, mis niñitos de la calle. I want the stubbornness of my love to help you turn on all the lights inside your soul. Tú eres mi sangre. I will not allow the streets of any city to steal you. You, like a lotus blossoming in the night, mis queriditas alma de mi existencia. I will not let the cesspool of Fulinga make a fast food happy meal of your dreams. Chiquito de la esquina, you are our only wealth. You are the most beautiful part of me, and I'm not about to let you go. I will not permit the hungry stupidity or greed to feed you to the streets without putting up a fight. Amorcito perdido de la noche. If I could, I would pave your path with stardust and massage your mind with a steady diet of just how important you are. Make sure you know you're too damn important to let the world just throw you away. It's my job to remind you on a daily basis this crazy old lady is here to stay. I'm still here staying and praying and praying and staying and staying and praying and praying and praying and praying and praying. You let me in, mis cielitos, cielitos, negrititos de la noche. I am talking to you. Can you even hear me? It's our tomorrows that you're throwing away. Queridos niñitos de la calle. I'm still waiting, a stubborn old lady with a heart full of love, standing in the shadows and waiting on who you could be, waiting for you to finally see me waiting to wrap you in a blanket of sunshine. Thanks for listening to my words in my book. I put that in our poetry series, which happens the fourth Saturday of the month, which is this Saturday. It's multilingual. I hope you make it. Bring the language you cry in or dream in and join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Avacha. Everybody unmute. Show your love for Avacha at this time.
That was incredible, Avacha. Woo!
That was epic and so deeply felt. Thanks for that. I wish wish the power of the word was, I wish more people were sensitive to the power of the word, that it would get through to people who are in a crisis like that. But of course, they're never going to recognize it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Anytime
very much.
adults or children out in the streets, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, every night, something is seriously wrong. And it's time that we wake up and take on the responsibility of being responsible adults and realize these are children. There are children. Anyway, I'll shut up.
Yeah, back in what people here call the crack days, that went on all the time on the block I lived on. The block was essentially run by 11 and 12-year-olds who were, in the business, and it was just heartbreaking, and it drove business away, and it um, kept people off the street because you didn't want to be out there in the middle of that. It was um, just kind of a extra, it becomes a kind of severe weather you have to live in every day.
Well said there. Severe weather to live through every day. And that is a reality for some, unfortunately. I'm just taking a moment just to kind of like consider some things I've seen, and I just it's just a shame that you have all these resources, but it's just apparently so little to give to the masses, to the mass majority here. I just wonder how long it's going to take for until something really heavy happens, like a real big paradigm shift um, where you start to see some things that you haven't really seen before. Some good, some bad, but the idea is that we're looking for some change because that shouldn't be a reality, period. And I just want to take this quick time just to summarize that up and say thank you, Avasha, for bringing that to our attention.
Thank you.
And
I also want to say, all due respect, but this is not just because of crack. I've been older. I've been around for a long, long time, and I've been playing music since I was a kid professionally, and I've seen this for 60 years or more out in the streets. This has been happening, and it's because of some of our parents are not rap tight, and they have not done what they're supposed to do, or they've done things like molest kids, beat them half to death or whatever. There's a reason why somebody is out there 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, especially children. So don't blame it on crack. Crack is the result of all the rest of the madness, but that's another subject.
yeah, I wasn't blaming it on just the crack. Definitely, there's a lot of
Yeah,
variables that go into such situations.
Yeah, no offense taken, and I'm not blaming it on crack either. I just not enough time to go into all the deep structural melees that brings that situation around. And it's like Dre's saying, you want to see something drastic happen, it's not until somebody who's a senator has their own 9-year-old out on the corner that you're going to see something change drastically, because those people don't feel it, and they never will, no matter how much they're going to try to represent to people who vote for them that that's something important to them. So yeah, it's definitely generations of this kind of oppression. And, it's a situation where we ourselves end up being tools of our own oppression because of the pathologies that are instilled in our neighborhoods that no single person or group or small groups of people with limited resources can ever overcome that. You can combat it, and you can employ tactics against it, and you can have individual victories over specific individuals. But to make some kind of blanket change, we have to have a revolution inside our own selves as the first step.
Right on. And with that said, like you said earlier, we could go much deeper into this, but we don't have the time. But it's good that we have conversations like this here in the room, to have pieces that inspire conversation, because this is what we come here to get, enriched to a degree, to be introduced to perspectives that you may have not been introduced to before, and it's just to be a more, well-rounded individual in experiences like this. But with that said, before we go on to the next poet, I just want to take this time to recognize Thomas Open Minds. Hello, glad to see you made it right here. And with that said, I see that you're sharing some love, and we'll share the love right back at you, my man. Glad to have you here. And with that said, closing out the show, please give it for your hosts for tonight, yours truly. Hey, everybody. So, I may not have a cover tonight, but Paul Skiff influenced me to do this piece because he was talking about mosquitoes, and I'm just glad that we're at that time of year where mosquitoes aren't a thing anymore because they fucking suck. No pun intended. Anyway, here's a piece let's call Exterminator Flow. I'm moving different. I'm moving like Oppenheimer, blasting away at nature's heroin needles in the dead heat of summer, employing the Grim Reaper full time in the work of genocide by pesticides. I'm straight gas in a swift mist of death that doesn't miss. This shit ain't nothing to me, man. Mosquitoes, much like the syringes and needles littering the streets of mill cities that add to as class struggle foliage that never gets raked, are a constant reminder that you can't fix a problem by ignoring it. West Nile, malaria, dengue, yellow fever, all which can be prevented if we just kill them off. Perhaps it was Mother Nature's way of combating the human infection that has devastated and scarred the planet we call home. Perhaps disease was her immune system simply doing its job, acting as antibodies from humankind, preventing death with death. Initially, Mother Nature fully intended to provide, but now she's decided to take the power back. Imagine if you were a creating and providing force of nature and you somehow decided it was a great idea to put mosquitoes in the mix. What drove you to such extremes? Now you're like Red Bull, giving disease some wings, disrupting everyone's circadian rhythm as you sit back and watch your troll game play itself out. Mother Nature must have amnesia. She forgot that I'm him. I'm him. I've been him, and I will continue to be him. I am the Himulation. I am him Kardashian. I am him Buck too. I got my DNA test back today and turns out that I'm 100% Himalayan. I am the one they've been talking about. I am Apocalypse incarnate from mosquitoes. Again, this shit ain't nothing to me, man. Heed my warning, my extermination game is harder than James Harden's beard game. Falling so hard, you little bastards think I'm a fucking nutsack. I'll kill you, you stupid pieces of shit. You reach for my neck, and I'll turn you into an example. You'll be high on 12 Jason Bournes when I spray you. I live for this shit, but you won't when I'm done with you. Poem. And that was a fun piece there about my hatred for mosquitoes because, again, they suck. Now, here's an older piece I wrote back in 2012. For any gamers out there who are familiar with the struggle of trying to get a cartridge to work on a Nintendo, this is what I like to call NES S&M. This cougar of a Nintendo Entertainment System hungers for something inside her. She wants something with the right game, something that clicks, something that fits just right. The gamer, the Nintendo's a longtime partner, whips out a copy of Blaster Master and fills her insides raw. The gamer pressed on the Nintendo's clitoris, the power button. That's her turn on. In attempts to get things rolling. First attempt failed. Time for a little foreplay. A dry blowjob. A couple of spanks. Slide that bad boy back in. Second attempt failed. All right. Time to play dirty, which is ironic because we're trying to clean the damn thing. Time to call forth the tiny white double-sided dildos dipped in rubbing alcohol. In the trenches you go, but just a tip, the Q-tip. Sticking it inside the cartridge, cleaning off the dust inside. This trick is a fail-safe. The third time's a charm. Blaster Master's inside her, impregnating the TV screen with nostalgia. Poem. And yep, there's that.
Everyone, please unmute and give it up for Trey Reyes, your host tonight.
Yeah, you're a hot mess.
Thank you so much.
Love you.
I'm a hot mess. Yeah. Woo! I would gladly take that. Yeah, that was fun. And seriously, tonight was fun. And that would not be possible without everybody here, each and last one of you here. It takes a lot to make a stew. And everybody here has some fun ingredients that make this a nice, spicy, wholehearted gumbo here at every Open Minds show that we have, and especially here, Chaos Magic. With that said, that concludes yet another edition of Chaos Magic. Again, check us out online on social media, on Instagram with Open Minds Open Mic for all of our shows. We got a show almost every day now of the week, starting with Harley R's tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come As You Are every Thursday at 6. Open Minds Open Mic this every Friday at 7 p.m. and it's the Slam Jam every Saturday at 5 p.m. So with that said, until next time, please keep writing, please keep loving. Peace and love to y'all and have a great night.
Thank you so much. Stay safe, everybody.